Remember when music came through one speaker, and it was in your dad's Oldsmobile? You didn't scroll or stream, you just listened. The signal crackled, faded, then came back strong. And what you heard wasn't Led Zeppelin, it sure wasn't Pink Floyd. It was something else. It was soft, dreamy, weird, sometimes just plain chirpy. And it lived on AM radio. Ever wonder why certain songs never made it to FM? Or why some only sounded right coming through those fuzzy car speakers at midnight? Well, buckle up. We're about to drive down a musical highway filled with tambourines, love vans, and apocalypse ballads. These are the songs you only heard on AM radio. Let's start with the queen of dreamy AM gold, Midnight Blue, Melissa Manchester, 1975. This one?
Midnight Blue.
This one practically oozes velour seats and dashboard lights. It wasn't built for rock arenas. This was for slow cruising, windows cracked, voices low.
Even the simple things become rough.
Melissa's voice had this smoky, vulnerable warmth, a kind of late-night honesty. FM rockers may have been busy chasing guitar gods and prog epics, but AM, it was perfectly happy with a soft, heartfelt ballad like this. What made Midnight Blue so perfect for AM wasn't just the song, it was the feeling. This was music for people living real life, working, loving, losing. FM was about rebellion. AM, that was about connection. Rock and Roll Lullaby, B.J. Thomas, 1972. Now tell me this, when was the last time you heard a lullaby on the radio? B.J. Thomas brought beauty to AM radio. This wasn't Raindrops Keep Falling on My Head. Cute? This was orchestral, moving, even a little cinematic. It had electric sitars and Beach Boys-style harmonies in the background, but somehow it never felt overblown. It felt safe, warm, a comfort blanket through the static. FM programmers probably thought it was too soft, too sentimental, but AM embraced it, because AM knew its audience. Moms in the kitchen, dads in traffic, kids in the back seat dozing off. Songs like this weren't just background noise, they were life's soundtrack. Chevy van, Sammy Johns, 1973. Okay, let's talk Chevy van. Raise your hand if you knew exactly what this song was about before you hit puberty. Sammy Johns gave us this soft rock gem that was basically a romanticized one-night stand.
Sharing the night together.
In a van. It was cheeky, it was smooth, it was AM gold. And let's be honest, FM wouldn't touch this with a 10-foot pole back then. Too mellow. Real question mark AM radio was all about songs that hit that blend between story and vibe. You didn't need to hear a blazing guitar solo, you needed to feel something. This song was built for those lazy afternoons when the sun hit the dashboard just right. It played quietly while you learned how to shift gears, literally and metaphorically. AM radio gave space for songs that weren't out to impress critics. They just wanted to ride along. Chirpy Chirpy Cheep Cheep, Middle of the Road, 1971. Okay, you knew this one was coming. Let's not pretend it's deep or poetic. This song is pure, unfiltered bubblegum absurdity, and yet, you can't forget it. It's burned into your brain like the smell of vinyl seats in July. It makes no sense, lyrically or musically, but somehow that's what made it perfect for AM, because back then, AM wasn't just soft pop, it was weird. You could go from heartfelt ballads to this in the span of 3 minutes, and no one blinked. FM, way too cool for this. But AM was fun, unpredictable, and just a little unhinged sometimes, just like us. Hey, quick pit stop. If this trip down memory lane's got you nodding along or cringing just a little, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. We've got tons more forgotten gems, guilty pleasures, and musical mysteries from the golden era of AM and FM coming your way. And drop a comment. Which of these AM-only hits did you secretly or not so secretly love back then? Alright, back to the music. In the year 2525, Zager and Evans, 1969.
In the year 45.
Let's get apocalyptic. This song was huge on AM, like #1 in 14 countries, huge. And yet, FM radio treated it like the weird kid at lunch.
Everything you think, do, and say.
In the year 2525 was sci-fi, social commentary, and existential dread, wrapped in a spooky melody and delivered with all the subtlety of a doomsday clock. Zager and Evans predicted everything from test tube babies to robot overlords. Was it a little much? Sure. Was it ahead of its time? Maybe. Was it weirdly catchy? Absolutely. It felt like the musical equivalent of staring out the car window and wondering if any of it really mattered. And that was AM radio magic. Green Tambourine, The Lemon Pipers, 1967. Ever wonder what it'd sound like if a psychedelic trip met a toy store? That's basically Green Tambourine.
Reflections of the music that is mine.
Psychedelia-lite, bubblegum with glitter. You had fuzz guitar, sitars, and of course, tambourines, all mixed together like a bowl of Lucky Charms on acid. It flirted with FM, sure, but AM was its true home. Because AM listeners didn't need the entire Doors catalog to feel trippy, they just needed something weird enough to spark a daydream. And this song delivered. Quirky, catchy, and just a bit odd. Like a lava lamp for your ears, Double Shot of My Baby's Love. The Swingin' Medallions, 1966.
What happened to me last night?
Frat rock, Southern swagger, sloppy horns. This was a party song if there ever was one. And yet, outside of the South, it didn't exactly dominate FM. Why? Because it wasn't polished, it wasn't clean, it was rowdy, raw, and just fun. AM radio embraced that kind of energy, especially in regional pockets. This wasn't about perfection, it was about personality. And Double Shot had it in spades. Nah, nah, hey, hey, kiss him goodbye. Steam, 1969. You've heard it in stadiums. You've heard it in movies. You've definitely heard it at awkward breakups. But when this thing first hit AM, it was just a weird little novelty track by a made-up band. Seriously, Steam wasn't even a real band at first, but it had something irresistible. A chant, a groove, a weird combo of soul and sass. FM stations rolled their eyes. AM said, sure, why not? And it became iconic. Not despite AM, but because of it. Put Your Hand in the Hand, Ocean, 1971. Here's a spiritual pop rock anthem that somehow slipped onto the charts and into the hearts of a generation. This wasn't gospel, but it wasn't rock either. It was something else. It rode that AM sweet spot, uplifting, easy to sing along with, and just edgy enough to make you feel cool, even if you were humming it at church camp. FM avoided religious themes unless they came with screaming guitars. But AM leaned into sincerity. This song was about hope, and for many listeners, that mattered. How Do You Do? Mouth and McNeil, 1972.
How do you do?
All right, admit it, you smiled when you saw this one. It's one of those duets that only AM radio could make a hit. Catchy, cheeky, borderline annoying, but in the best way. The chemistry between Mouth, yes, Mouth, and McNeil was goofy and charming. It was pop for people who liked their music with a wink and a grin. FM was all about cool, AM was all about fun. This song was the sound of roller rinks, birthday parties, and backyard BBQs. It was joy, wrapped in a 3-minute jingle. So what made these songs AM only? It wasn't that they weren't good. In fact, many were great in their own right, but they didn't fit the FM mold. They were too soft, too quirky, too sincere, or just too strange. FM chased the revolution. AM captured the moments in between. It was the station your mom tuned to while driving you to school, the one your dad left on while checking the weather, the one that played when you were up too late and couldn't sleep. These songs were woven into the rhythm of everyday life, and though some have faded from playlists, they live on in memory because they were there when it mattered. So here's to the songs you only heard on AM radio. They may not have changed the world, but they sure made the ride a little more interesting. Before you go, don't forget to like, subscribe, and tell us in the comments. Which AM hit still lives rent-free in your brain? And hey, if you remember listening to any of these in the backseat of a Chevy van, we want to hear that story too.